Sentient beings. This broadcast is not intended for children. There will be strong language and adult themes, and a slight possibility you may actually learn something.
Nah,
Not
not today.
not likely. Mm-mm. No, sorry.
I
I
said
brought
a
my.
slight possibility, but I
I'm wearing.
displayed the periodic table, so there's a chance they may learn something from looking at that.
I don't need a table to know when I have my periods. Jesus Christ.
Well, interesting thing is the that periodic table came from a dream.
Yes, I've heard that.
Oh, I did not know that.
Wasn't also the guy who finalized the concept of the carbon ring also had it in a dream?
Not sure.
A chemist friend of mine. I think I remember him telling me that.
Yeah, he was trying to work it all out, and then one day he had this dream of the table, and he woke up and jotted it down.
Hey, Robert X. We once had a politician ran for president here in the states, and his bumper sticker said AUH2O for president. What was his name?
Australian water.
Don't give it away.
I'm trying to figure it out myself. I don't know this one.
You do. You just don't know it. You know it.
Oh, I think I got it now.
Well, if he was a politician, I'm thinking they stood for ass.
We get 10 more seconds, Robert. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Goldwater. AUH2O.
Yep.
Goldwater.
Although that may be both a matter of generation and being American, so might have been outside Robert's reference. But yes, the reason that we're observing the periodic table today is because this was the day that John Newlands published his periodic table. At the time, there were only 56 elements known, but he grouped them into 11 groups that he called the laws of octaves because he had started to recognize patterns. And what he didn't know at the time that we know now is the reason that there are these patterns between elements is because the electrons orbit in specific shells. So, without really knowing the reason for it, he recognized that certain elements had similarities that turned out to be based on how many electrons they had in their outer shell. Hey, Demon.
And what are the names of those shells?
I didn't know the shells had specific names.
Oh, yes, they do. PS. I'm not doing these in order or anything. PS.
Mm. Well, all I had was one semester of high school chemistry was as far as I got, so I'm out of my field here.
And there's some others I just don't know them, and I don't really care that I don't know. Because I failed chemistry in college twice.
I barely passed chemistry, and it had nothing to do with my grade. The teacher just didn't like me anymore. I had had him for physics, and one of his axioms is he kept saying that there are no angles in nature, that everything was just straight lines and curves. And after he said that for about the 50th time, I waited until after class, after everyone else had left the room, and I went and asked him, but what about crystalline structures? They have sharp angles. And he says, oh, yeah, you're right. And from that point on, no matter what I did, I never got better than a D.
Yeah, because the moment you said that, I thought of these blah, 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 what's that mineral again? Basalt columns that you can find in
Yep.
Iceland, and I think also in Ireland. I know they got some column structures, but I don't know if they're basalt. Anyways, yes.
It also probably didn't help that I was questioning why an underfunded school in a rural district needed a golf club, and it turned out his son was on the golf club.
That probably had something to do with it.
Yeah, it just seemed to be a really asinine thing for the school to be spending money on when there was like maybe 2% of the students who were actually even able to participate because they, if you couldn't afford the equipment, you couldn't be in it.
Yeah, and we should just completely ignore and not give any rights to those trans people because they're only about 2% of the population. You can't decide to exempt something just because it's a small number. It's still there.
In the case of a public school, though, extracurricular activities funded by the school become questionable at some point.
Okay, well, I'll tell that to the national champion girls curling team over in Wausau. You're anti-sports, okay? So
Well,
I just
that
don't.
too,
I
yes.
just don't take your credibility in that at all. Sorry.
Yes,
And I'm not so much pro sports, but I am pro inclusion.
well, I'm not anti-sports. I'm anti-professional sports. It's the corporatism that bothers me about sports. At the high school level, I think they're a good thing.
If corporatism was not allowed in sports and a number of other things in life, they wouldn't exist at all. There's nothing wrong with it. If somebody wants to spend too much money on sport to use it as advertising, fine, let them. That money's going to individuals. That gets spread out to the community.
Does it, though?
Yes.
So then why does the community have to pay for a stadium
Now
or a
that's
private
political.
corporation?
Now that's political. And that is absolutely something I'm against.
Yeah, well, see, that's what I mean. It's not that I'm against the sports. I'm against people who will never use it having to fund it.
Well, but you curse the sports. You're not cursing the politics. And myself and millions of others would stand behind the bitching about tax dollars going to stadiums and stuff.
Yeah, no, but see, this is what I mean. This is why I don't, at the high school level, I think it's a good thing. At the professional level, I'm not behind it. The Packers are the only team I can back because the Packers are the only team that isn't just a huge corporation that's trying to suck off the community.
And yet they are. Their profit doesn't go to one big fat cat guy, but their profit gets spent on the various things that help them run the organization.
Yeah, but
And
they're at least
those
publicly
monies.
owned. They're
Yes,
at least publicly owned, so the people, kind of have the option. They can opt into paying part of the thing.
The public never sees that money. They see in a stadium that it helped to build. They see the salaries that it helps to pay. They see the fancy uniforms that they have. But it doesn't go to any of the people. It goes to the people involved with the corporation directly. You and I don't
thought
see
the
a dime.
stockholders did get some kind of dividend from that occasionally.
No, we get a piece of paper that says, you can come to this meeting and vote on these things that you know nothing about if you'd like.
Okay, I guess I didn't understand as much about how it was run. I was giving you more credit than that.
You own shares of Packer stock for the honor, for the knowing that you're part of the whole schema of a team that's not owned by a rich fuck.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
And besides, the other thing I stand about with when it comes to people whining about what entertainers and athletes and stuff like that get paid is no, they're not paid too much. You and I are paid severely under what we are worth.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Okay? Because that's where all those guys are collecting money, off of your back, not out of your sports team. Ducky Poo, Claire.
Yeah, I may have to cut out early today because I've got an appointment. So I've got to I got an appointment I have to be at 4:00.
Well, okay. Mage is okay with you?
I mentioned it to Mage, and Mage will make a decision when the time comes about whether we should shut down or keep it going.
Well, if you keep putting me to sleep with talk of politics and sports ball.
What's my favorite element? Surprise. I think surprise is my favorite element.
Hey, Ember, I sent you a link on Discord if you can join us. Oh, yeah, Randall, yeah, at a certain level.
Not your type of entertainment. Down home, good quality doesn't count. Poorly written, formulaic is what they want to get paid for.
Yeah, unfortunately. It's funny how the Republicans are trying to recruit Taylor Swift to their side now.
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
That's gonna work.
How?
Yeah, how are they doing that?
Mostly by insulting her, apparently.
Oh, so the tactic that Biden wants to use on the left.
You want to extrapolate on that a bit?
No. Well, it's apparently his new tactic to get the left back on his side. He's going to attack the left, which is going after Cornel West and Jill Stein.
Well, I don't have a problem with that, but
You should.
that's not going to help.
No, never mind.
Yeah, I think the Democrats may have fucked themselves over by not doing proper primaries. Because the way they were going to win was going to try to bring some disenfranchised voters out to vote. And telling the disenfranchised voters that, yeah, we're going to ignore whatever candidate you really want to support really isn't a good tactic to help that.
No, it's not.
Oh, Ember, I see. You mean they're sitting there and crying about it, huh? Oh, Taylor, come on, Taylor, tell them to vote for us. Come on.
Well, there's also spreading the conspiracy theory that Taylor is a deep state operative that they're using to brainwash people in her concerts.
No, wait a minute. No. The last rumor that I heard is that she's a man. Come on.
That was an old one. Gotta get up with the times.
Oh no, I saw one just a couple of weeks ago.
Randall, I can kind of understand your point, but if too many people decide not to vote, we know the Republicans will turn out and will wind up with Trump again.
If Randall wants to live in a fascist state with a dictator, that's fine. That's his decision.
Okay, let's not get into politics.
Okay. Actually, I didn't know. I really knew nothing about Taylor Swift, and I paid no attention to her until she made that statement to tell her fans to make sure they're registered to vote. She didn't endorse a party or a candidate. She just said, make sure you're registered to vote. And that's what blew the whole thing up.
Uh-huh.
She wears high heels. I wear sneakers is coming out. Actually, my problem is trying to find, women's shoes that don't have heels. I don't need to be 6 feet tall.
I know where a place is, but I'm not going to tell you because you're not going to go there anyway.
Yeah, well, it's also a matter of my budget. But anyway. Excuse me. Oh, so before we start the stream, Mage was mentioning about how a bunch of people are getting new furry friends.
Yeah.
Yep,
You got
so
a new cat. Kate got a new cat. Neighbor down the street, he got a new dog.
yeah,
Used
Mage, I'm going with your
pets.
suggestion of I'm calling him Ethan.
Yeah.
I didn't
Okay.
like Ethel, but when I say Ethan, he at least looks at me, so he knows I'm addressing him.
Okay. Cool.
But he's settling in very well here. He's really liking the way high perch up there, the one that's more than 6 feet up, so he can look down on people.
Yeah. Just as any cat would usually do.
Yeah, he's a major climber. That he actually managed to through a series of hopping up on my desk, getting up on top of the 6-foot shelves on the other side of the room, and was walking around behind the Lego pirate ship. So I am impressed that he managed to do it without knocking anything off the shelf. So he's still being considerate about that. I was so afraid that I was going to have to rebuild that ship.
Funny, last night Molly was trying to get into stuff I didn't want her getting into, so I took some of the empty bottles I have laying around and put a line in across. I was blocking her, and she just stood there looking at it like she couldn't cross it.
Yeah, the chow I had when I lived in St. Paul, Ginger Snap. All I needed to do if I need to keep her out of a room was just put a line of empty boxes there, and she wouldn't go past them.
It wasn't like she wouldn't easily just step over the bottles,
Well, I'm glad that you and Molly are having a good time of things.
Yep, she's playing right now. I got one of her toys, and she's playing right now. So if you hear any growling, that's what it is.
Yep. Well, Ethan has also been experimenting with all the toys. I got cat toys all over the place, and he's been checking out different toys all the time, so he must be pretty comfortable.
Yeah, it's good.
Sammy's son cat toys were largely a waste of money because, well, the other night he kept himself busy for almost 2 hours playing with a cough drop wrapper that had missed the garbage can.
Oh, balls of aluminum foil tend to work pretty good with cat toys.
Yep. Actually, when I get the chocolates that are wrapped in little foils, I just keep collecting them, and I form them up into balls, and then I toss those around for the cats. Yeah, well, okay. Furries can have double meanings, but yeah, either way. I just refer to my kitties as my furry roommates. we don't own cats. We just coexist with them. But all in all, I got really lucky that Ethan is fitting in so well, and he is very well behaved. He has not been causing trouble. He has not been like knocking things off of the tables or anything.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, one of my cats, Dee Dee, she was a little troublemaker.
Mostly Ethan is nervous, so I have a feeling that he was used to being, kicked off the furniture in his old home. Because he is surprised that when he is in the chair and I reach over and pet him, that I'm not trying to throw him off.
Mm.
So he's just getting used to that idea that it's okay for him to be in the chair.
Yeah, it seemed to take Molly a little bit to realize that it was okay for her to be up on the couch and chair. Now it's like her favorite spot to sleep.
The one thing Ethan has not quite figured out is that I can tell when he's up on the kitchen sink when I'm not in there. That I can hear him get up there.
Yeah, I do have one rule about not getting on tables.
That was a rule that Sloth Girl made. That when I had Sammy in Michigan, the first time Sloth Girl came to visit, she got the tag of Yelly Girl because she came in with this idea that there should be rules for the cats, and that was a new concept in my home. Well, I told the people at the shelter when I picked Ethan up that basically I only had two rules: that as long as he didn't fight with Sammy's son and he didn't chew on cables, everything else was negotiable. So I don't even get terribly upset that they've managed to claw a hole in the side of my recliner.
Yeah, it was okay. I've been okay even with the damaged dog. When it was like dealing with emotional issues. In fact, I was actually looking at one.
Yep. Yeah, I've been very, very good at fixing broken kitties. Like I said, I took in some feral cats, and well, both Sammy's son and Ethan. I went into the shelter, and one of my first questions was, "Who's been stuck here the longest?"
Yeah,
Everybody, of course, wants the kittens. Not many people want to adopt a cat that's 6 years old.
Yeah, the one I was looking at, I believe, was named Trouble. And his backstory was that he was thrown out of the window of a moving car, and they just found him wandering around.
I remember you mentioning that, and how the fuck can people do that to a living animal?
He was in a temporary home at the time. I would have gone over to see him. I probably would have had to do like multiple visits before I could adopt him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that's like Guapo. Guapo wasn't directly from the feral. Well, he kind of was. Was that my friend had found his mother in the process of giving birth in the park, and it was so cold that she'd already lost the first kitten because she couldn't keep him warm.
Yeah, my last
So-
cat was an outdoor cat, and it took a little bit for her to warm up to me and all that.
Yeah. So I ran over there with a box full of towels, and we got the mother and the kittens in the box and took them over to my friend's basement. And I just made a habit of just going over there and sitting with them to help socialize the kittens as they started to grow up. The mother was still suspicious, but so I was just trying to socialize them from the beginning. So then when they were old enough to adopt out, then we took Guapo.
Yeah, that cat actually belonged to a neighbor across the street from me first, and they would just have their cats, wandering around outside, and I got to know this one cat out of theirs. and then one of the cats disappeared. I'm not sure what happened to him. It was a male cat. Then
Mhm.
they gave the cat to my other neighbor across the street, directly across the street from me. He and then it came out that they had to move to like some apartment, so they couldn't really keep the cat too much, and so I ended up taking care of the cat. And that's how she ended up being with me.
Mm. Yeah, that's I've over the years gotten several cats that way too. That people moving to places that they couldn't keep them.
It didn't seem. It did seem there was some possible some abuse from one of the people who was living there. Not necessarily the lady who owned the cats, but maybe your spouse might have been abusive to the cats. Is the
Mm.
way the cat acted.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, that's also another common problem that somebody gets in a new relationship and the cat or the dog, is suspicious of the new person, so they wind up getting rid of the animal. Which no, that's not going to happen. If like if I'm dating someone or getting in a relationship, and they give me that ultimatum that it's me or the cat, it's like, you're easier to replace.
So we ended up having to do getting the cat fixed for free through some feral program, which ended up clipping his ear and all that. And I just told him to bring him back. I'll take care of the cat, And so they brought him back, and I was, kind of nursing him back to health. That first night, he looked like he almost died on that first night, and we got him back because they pumped him up with so much drugs, and, gave him all of his shots. That's so he had the surgery, all of his shots all at once. So it was like he was almost dead at the time, and I got him back. But I took care of him, and afterwards, he was like, kind of looked at me like, "You saved me." And ever since then, he was just right, would follow me around whenever I went outside. Just saw me as it's safe to go to and as a protector or something.
Yep. Ethan is also another example of what I keep saying. There's a lot of people who will talk against allowing cats to free feed, but especially for me, as I have no consistent schedule. But it's like for about 2-3 days, yeah, he was scarfing the food until he got the idea that it was always going to be refilled. And then it became a total non-issue. Then it's like he walks by to check that there's food in the bowl, but then he just keeps going. So he has not felt the need to keep eating that way. He's just reassured that there's always going to be food there. He doesn't have to worry about it. Petunia's the same way. Petunia had serious food insecurities.
Still not entirely certain what happened to that cat. It was one morning she was meowing. He was meowing outside. I figured he just wanted his food. I was kind of sleeping in a little bit. Like, I'll take care of you. It's too early to give you food. So I'll take care of you later. Came out, put the food out, and didn't see the cat. It was just gone.
Well, unfortunately, outdoor cats, it's a very dangerous world with people and vehicles and wild animals. I used to let my cats roam outside, but I have definitely changed my opinion on that it's really not good to let them roam free.
Well, there was no really way of otherwise of couldn't keep them indoors.
Right, yeah. Well, I had the same problem with Fiona that, since she had been feral, there was no way I was going to keep her inside.
Yeah, I mean, I had to keep him in for a week while you healed from a wound, and that was a nightmare trying to keep him from going outside.
Yeah. Yeah, that's Fiona. If she didn't have a door that she could come and go as she pleased, she was just constantly screaming. Just the idea of being trapped inside was horrible to her. Yeah, I actually had an experience like that with squirrels. That a ginger snap brought me a baby squirrel one day, and it's like, okay, I didn't know what to do with it, and then she brought another one and another one, and so apparently the squirrel's nest had been knocked out of the tree by the high winds the night before, and she wasn't hurting them; she was just bringing them to me to show me. So, I got my ladder and I put all the baby squirrels back up in a crook of our biggest tree. And I was thinking about the mother squirrel found them and she moved them to a new nest. And it's like, from the squirrel's viewpoint, that must have been like an act of God.
That was interesting when Molly found the baby bird.
Oh, I didn't hear about the bird.
Oh, you remember the little dove? I've posted it a while back. It was
Oh,
during
yeah.
after that
Yeah.
hurricane. Yeah, I was taking Molly for a walk, and all of a sudden she's like, go sniffing around for something. I look, and there's this little bird sitting there. At first, I thought it was dead, and I saw it moving. I'm like, oh, it's alive. And, stood there, like, okay, what am I gonna do with this? I look
Yeah.
around. There's the two neighbor cats, right there. So
Yeah, it's not going to be there long if you just leave it.
yeah, and it's surprising it was there for as long as it was because it was near the end of the day, and that hurricane hit that morning. So it was probably there all day.
Yeah. Did the mother come back for it?
No, they didn't. I put it in the temporary travel cage and I brought it over to a wildlife center. They told me they got like a dozen other mourning doves of that day too.
Mm-hmm.
Probably because the storm and all.
Hey, Steph.
Hello, Purple. Hi, Mage. Hi, Jenny.
But they said
Lovely scenery of the coastline.
But they said he looked like he was in good condition, so I imagine they probably
Hi,
nursed
Steph.
him. And then,
Welcome to Wednesday afternoon Cat Talk.
Cap Talk?
Yeah, Cat
Well,
Talk. We
it's not
talk
just
about
cat
cats
talk.
and only about cats.
Oh,
We're not allowed.
cat.
We're not allowed to
Cat.
talk about politics or sports. So only cats right
Cat.
now.
Not just
Cats
cats.
talk.
May just talking about his puppy.
Oh, okay. Well, puppy.
Now I was just talking about a wild bird that Molly found.
Cool.
Yep.
Is the bird okay? Or did
Yeah, the bird's okay. I was just saying I took him to a wildlife sanctuary, and they took care of it.
Yep. It's good that you got him to some people who would know how to take care of him.
Oh, I could have done it myself, but it was kind of illegal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, you know a lot more about birds than most people do. I specialize in cats. I am still working on Ethan's dialect. He gets to be quite vocal, and I still don't understand what he means most of the time. I think more than anything, it's just kind of he keeps exploring and finding strange things.
Molly is rolled on her back while still holding onto her toy and showing the play tug of war with it.
Yeah.
surprised she's being quiet about it. She's usually growling when playing with her like this.
Yeah, Ethan is playing with toys. I think he's been trying to initiate some play with Sammyson, but Sammyson has been bullied by so many cats that I don't think he gets that it's a game.
Hmm.
So he's still nervous, but he's not too nervous about it because it's like if Ethan's laying there in the hallway, and obviously stalking Sammy, if Sammy just doesn't want to deal with it, he literally just jumps right over him and comes back to me. So it's like he's not really intimidated by it, but he doesn't understand that this is supposed to be a game. Ethan is very fond of doing that thing of like, squatting down ready to pounce and thinking that he's hiding himself without realizing that his tail is swishing high above whatever he's hiding behind. So that's how I can tell that's play and that, it's not serious aggression. Is, you just got to read the tail.
Yeah.
With cats, if the whole tail's swinging back and forth, that's a playful thing. If they're really agitated, the tail will be mostly stiff with just the tip twitching.
Hmm. There are some other tails too as well.
Yeah, but for cats, the tail is very, very important communication.
That's how my tail works too.
I haven't seen you swish your tail back and forth.
Oh, you think I just show you in public? Come on.
Yeah, that's on your OnlyFans.
It's kind of a prop. Yes, it is.
Oh, and update that if I can scrape together a little more money, my van will be ready to be picked up next month.
Oh, good.
So yeah, I've got to sort out my bank account. I've got all my bills paid for the month, and I've got to see how much I've got left to send. But yeah, I should be able to pick it up by the middle of March.
Well, that's good news.
Yep. And I got all the legalities for it taken care of, so it is in my new name and sporting new Minnesota plates.
Excellent.
Great.
Now, just remember this time, steer away from the deer.
If I had seen it, I would have, but I literally did not know there was a deer until I saw the head pop up above the windshield. I really have no idea where that one came from. But yeah, the problem was that, it was a two-lane state highway, and there were just enough oncoming cars that I couldn't keep the brights on. So I couldn't really see off to the sides very well. But yeah, literally, she will be in better shape than how she was when I first got her.
Yeah, that's good.
Because of course, in the process, then all the routine maintenance is taken care of, and a bunch of the things that typically had the chance to go wrong have been replaced. Like it's got a new water pump and a new alternator. And it is just fortunate that everything matches. We didn't need to pay for a paint job because it just turned out that 80% of those vans made were all the same color red. So all I mean, if it had come to that, I wouldn't have bothered paying for the paint job. I would have dealt with just, a fender being the wrong color, but she looks real good.
So what have you been up to, Stephanie?
Oh, just sewing on and fixing and washing and stuff and thinking and growing old and trying to anticipate spring a little bit. But aside from that, watching
Yeah.
the tide go out, watching the tide come in.
You can't explain that now.
I can, but I don't want to explain it to somebody who's an idiot, like Bill O'Reilly, for example. No, I don't think I don't need to spin my wheels in those precincts at all, or explain the periodic table to somebody who thinks that God done it,
Speaking about it, I was watching another video from Gutsick Gibbon just before the show started.
Oh, does she have a new one out? I didn't see it, but
yeah, just another heat problem video.
yeah. Yeah, I didn't have a chance to check my feed before getting the stream ready today, so it's probably in there.
With Sitting for Lies.
Yeah, the heat problem was one that I had never really considered before she started talking about it. It's like, yeah, with that degree of heat, the oceans would have boiled away.
Yeah, we've been basically a mini sun.
We would have wound up like Venus.
Yeah, I mean, there are so many things that are wrong with the flood that it just can't possibly have happened in the physical world. It's just not, despite all the answers, all the arguments to the contrary, it just can't possibly have happened. Despite all the evidence of the geologic column, of paleontology, of evolution, etc., and so forth, can't be explained. But it doesn't matter to these folks.
Yeah.
You can show them tables, you can get mad at them, you can approach them with love, you can approach them with anything, but it's not going to change. Somehow or another, they're just entrenched in this system of belief that traps them.
I
in
keep
weird
seeing
places.
their stuff, and I keep thinking just from writing science fiction and fantasy, I could come up with a lot of better explanations than they do. And I've thought of doing a parody video on it, but at the same time, I don't want to give them new ideas.
Oh no, give them new ideas. It's so boring hearing them talk about the same shit over and over.
Well, they are.
Ken Ham's thing, and why the dinosaurs were on the ark, but we don't have them now. I mean, that's pretty easily explained because, after they got off the ark, every time a carnivore fed, another species went extinct.
Well, they're already appealing to future science to explain away the heat problem, so they already are getting into science fiction at that point, so.
And it's all apologies. It's all apologetics. It's all just all trying to make shit up to justify a belief that they already have, and that's not science. That's not an approach to. That's not the scientific method. Here's a theory that explains something that's observable, and then you go take some and ostensibly your theory will make predictions, and therefore you'll find out whether those presumptions are borne out in fact. And they don't.
But what about my feelings?
Yeah, but everybody, Jenny, I think everybody sort of has feelings, and unfortunately, a number of people don't appreciate that other people have feelings. I try to have a little bit of empathy for where these people are coming from.
But yours are wrong, mine are right.
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah, but you would think the divine inspired word of an all-powerful being wouldn't need so many explanations. It you'd think it would have been something he would have made clear to everyone.
You would think so, but God moves in mysterious ways.
That only demons ask that question. Be quiet.
Hey, Skits.
Skitsy.
Hey.
I don't know. It's just it's screwy, and I don't know how worthwhile it is. Even the only thing I think you can do is speak in positive terms about the value of the scientific method. After all, most of these people are that are making this case are talking on equipment that wouldn't be here if it weren't for the fact that people figured out how electrons work. And
that's different science.
Speaking of cute kitties, I just want to say Skits has an adorable little avatar there.
Nice.
I do see use to him. I mean, I've learned quite a bit on evolution, and just from listening to all these debunking creationist videos.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. In that sense, I think it's valuable, but the real, it's really nice to appreciate the kitties and the doggies for what they are and the real, in the here and now, and maybe get curious about, well, how come this wolf turned into a house pet? How did that happen? Let's answer that question.
They started out by hanging around because they like to eat our scraps. And the ones that didn't try to eat our babies, we let stay around. And the ones that were more aggressive, we killed.
Or at least drove away. We, had our favorite canines take on their favorite canines.
Yeah.
Wolfhound. You need your wolfhound to keep the wolves at bay.
I really believe that humans probably, couldn't have risen to the level of being top predators without the, symbiosis with dogs.
Which one of the Norse gods was it that had a wolf as its? Was that Odin?
That was Bob.
Oh, it was Bob. Yeah, I'm sorry. I always forget.
Well, there was the Fenrir, the great wolf that would show up for Ragnarok.
Yep.
He was the one that was supposed to kill Odin.
Yeah, killing immortals is kind of a weird concept.
Yeah, that's why I like the Tolkien legendarium. You've got elves that die, but they don't die. They just sort of go off to this place where they hang out for a while, and every now and again, somebody like Glorfindel will get picked out, and he'll come back and check back in. And it's just it's all right, fine. I like the stories.
Yeah, that was one of Loki's sons.
Well, as a pagan, I came up with the idea that, gods survive by, for lack of better terms, by the mana they get from their followers. So every god's strength is dependent on, how many people are worshiping them.
So basically, the D&D version.
Oh, is it? I don't know. I don't really play D&D, but yeah, that gods don't really so much die as just when no one any longer worships them, they just fade away.
From my understanding of the D&D, it doesn't necessarily be overt worship. It could be just through your acts. So, for instance, if you have a god of war, if you go to war, then you're effectively worshiping that god.
Well,
yeah, it's funny that we invented a god. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, in paganism, I had a lot of great sects because a lot of them considered that to be a form of worship, and it's like, I'm not even sure which god I was attributing it to. I was just having fun.
Yeah, we invent gods for everything we do, right? We make war. Got to have a war god.
Hey, Al.
We make love. Got to have a love god.
Yeah.
We do this. We got to have some kind of god.
Who's the god? Then who's the god of Argyle socks?
Yeah, I think that's the devil.
Since human history, we apparently have worshipped up to around 18,000 gods.
That's not enough.
That's probably
I
not
had
counting
actually
the-
heard claims that was as high as 45,000, but
there's only one that's real, you know.
The cat
Oh, yeah.
god.
No, it's flying
That one.
spaghetti monster. Duh.
Oh. Well, that's only because it sticks to the wall.
And what more do you need out of a god?
That's true.
hey, it is a god that sacrifices himself to nourish us. I mean, what more selfless act could there be?
And it also explains why atoms look like meatballs.
Well, not just atoms. There's
Pareidolia?
lots of things that look like meatballs.
Well, you see, actually, the flying spaghetti monster is real, okay? And Jesus was a rotini, okay, and was followed by at least a dozen different pastas. There was uzo, something like that, and there was fettuccine. There was linguine. There was lasagna. There are just many different disciples that followed the flying.
Emperor.
Excuse me.
Hello.
Rotini and his father's flying spaghetti monster. Don't you guys know the story?
No,
It reminds me
but
of
I
the
am
Great
curious
God's
about. I'm curious about one thing, and that is how come once Marco Polo brought pasta back from China to Italy, how come they never made any cruciform pasta? I mean, you'd think that good Catholics would make something out of it.
A number of times they did try to do that, but sadly, the parishioners of the Spaghetti Monster Church were really, really hungry and ate everyone they tried to build before it was hardened.
Yeah, I mean, I would think that crosses and cheeses would be a pretty good dish, wouldn't you?
Crazy.
Now I can imagine just some Sunday school class, making
sorry, I'll come in
crucifixes out of
again.
macaroni art.
Yeah.
My
Praise
favorite
Jesus.
my favorite was Jesus.
or the Jesus cheese grater. Jesus Christ, our grating Lord.
No, the U.S. needs to ban pre-shredded cheese. Make America great again.
No.
Now you're grating on my nerves.
Very cheesy joke.
I don't know. I thought it was perfectly al dente.
Well, now I'm feeling blue.
Limburger.
I've never seen blue pasta. I'm sorry, Ember.
Sorry, you got to
No,
do it.
cheese jokes. Blue cheese.
Oh, blue cheese. Oh, Jesus.
Stay on
I
theme,
mean,
Jenny.
Jesus.
Jeez Louise.
Oh,
You're gonna
yeah,
make me a monster.
Ethan,
Herman?
apparently that is the one thing that will trigger him. Is he seems to go a little nuts whenever he smells cheddar cheese. It's the only time he's tried to take my food.
I had these
Really?
toasted Brits cheese crackers, and Molly loved them.
Oh, those are Sammy's favorite treat.
Everything
And
fits
that's
if
not
it
really
sits on
cheese.
Ritz.
No. No, but Sammy loves those little Cheez-Its crackers.
Yeah, they weren't Cheez-Its. They were like it was a Ritz brand,
Yeah.
toasted cheese chips thing.
Mm-hmm.
I got them with some port wine for the New Year.
I love the port wine cheese spread. That's one of my favorite snackies.
Why does everyone get port wine? Why does nobody ever try starboard wine?
Well, I haven't been able to find it, and the problem is probably because they unload it from the wrong side of the ship and it keeps sinking.
I think that may be the case.
More?
I don't know. Would wine? We all know, notes in bottles, empty bottle. Of course, it's full of air and it floats. Would wine in a wine bottle float, or would it sink? Is wine more or less dense than regular water?
Well,
Has
I
anyone
think just
tested this
because of the weight
for
of the
science?
bottle itself, it would sink.
Well, that depends. Like, if it's significantly less dense than water, then it'd be the same as having air in the bottle.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. I don't think that there's enough difference in the density between the wine and the water to support the weight of the bottle. So I think if it's a full bottle of wine, I expect it would sink.
Okay, what about a half a bottle? How much wine do we have to deplete to get the bottle to float? Now, that's a very scientific question.
Yep, there you go.
Well, we know
We'll
that,
have to
that
experiment.
wine bottles have always been known to sink. We find amphoras in the Mediterranean all the time.
Yeah, it's also why we find a lot of drunken fish.
I thought that
You
was just
think
good
crabs
luck.
can't walk straight? No, crabs are the ones on the bottom getting all those wine bottles.
Crabs walk sideways and lobsters walk straight. Oh. Smothers
Do
Brothers
they?
did it. Smothers Brothers did a song to that effect.
Yeah. Actually, lobsters not only walk straight, but when they migrate, the spiny lobsters walk in a straight single file line that goes on for miles. Hundreds of thousands of lobsters walking in a single file line.
It's because they
And
can't
why is
count
it
up.
that
That's
so
because they
many
can't
fish-
count up to two. They can only have one line.
Why is it so many fish swim backwards? Like, the cuttlefish and octopuses and squid. Like, squids will spritz their ink while they squish down and shoot the other direction. Like, everybody's going backwards. What's up with this?
Cephalopods are aliens. I've told you guys this before. You haven't believed me. Them and tardigrades came to Earth together and founded all life on the planet.
Okay, so will a bottle of wine sink or float?
Well, I'm pretty sure it's going to sink if it's a full bottle.
2, 1.
It sinks.
Rather quickly,
Ta-da!
too.
But now we know, and knowing is half the battle.
Is that what that whole channel does? Is just to see if things sink or float?
I don't know. I was just thinking. I just randomly came across it while you were talking about whether a bottle of wine would sink or not.
David Letterman used to do a segment on his show with that. That they'd
or
set
float?
up like a big water tank on the stage, and the whole thing was, will it float? And he just like had the studio audience betting on what was going to float and what was going to sink.
Yo, terrestrial television is fucking weird.
Yeah.
I'm so glad we're on interplanetary television, where everyone is normal.
Yeah, just stay away from the interdimensional television. That gets just too strange. And
That's where Gabe Perot broadcasts.
have you seen the Rick and Morty episodes of interdimensional television?
No.
Oh,
I think so.
I don't have terrestrial TV, so I haven't seen Rick and Morty.
Well, there's other ways of watching stuff like that.
yeah.
In theory.
Yeah, basically, Rick just hacked the cable box with some device he made so that they could watch TV from all of the alternate dimensions.
I think I saw that.
I think they did like 3 episodes of it.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I haven't seen the more
500 channels
recent
and nothing on. Let's make it infinity channels.
Well, one of the shows was a kind of game show called How Did I Get Here? which apparently was just people being transported to random locations with no clue what had happened to them.
Hey, can you guys hear me right now?
Yeah, Jenny.
Yes.
Right now.
I'm gonna try an experiment with StreamYards here, though I haven't done before. I'm going to try to play a song and see if you guys can hear what I'm hearing.
Okay.
Okay, it's only a 40-second thing.
Let us know when you start. Are you gonna do it?
Gotta let us know. And I'm guessing that didn't work too well.
I guess not. Oh well.
No, we couldn't hear it. Sorry.
I was going to try.
Work.
I was going to try to play the song "Crabs Walk Sideways" for you.
Ah.
Yes, there really is a song by that title.
Well,
Von,
it's
There's
probably
also
for the
a song-
best. We don't need purple getting demonetized.
Von Rick,
There's
why would
also
you
a
want to
song
be
called
normal?
"Ducks on the Wall."
By who?
The Kinks.
Of course.
It's great. It starts out, "My baby's got the most deplorable taste, but their biggest mistake is hanging over the fireplace. She got ducks on the wall."
Okay,
She got
stop.
ducks. Okay,
Stop.
sorry. Yeah.
Copyrights.
It's funny. I like it.
And today, that's actually a sophisticated jingle compared to that fucking singing bass fish.
So Al. Hello.
Oh.
Singing bass fish.
It's a redneck thing. Go to any Bass Pro Store and you'll find lots of like fake basses. You push a button and it'll sing.
Whoever
like some
whoever
redneck
just
tune
came
or
in,
whatever.
you cannot be heard.
Yeah, Al, you're being extremely quiet. We can't really hear you. Can you?
And I didn't know it was you because there's a bunch of people in the corner standing over your name. I can't see it.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what.
Look at all the truckers we got in here.
Now
this is now Purple's
Al.
truck stop.
Now it's less than a half millimeter tall, so I
It
can't
sure
read
is.
it.
Well, Al's warhorse is fucking iconic.
I'll believe you. It looks like a caterpillar to me right now. Oh, okay, there we go. Ooh, that's a big
I don't
dog.
know if my audio is any better.
That's a
headset's
bit
on the
better.
last leg. Is it a bit better?
Well, I'm trying to crank you up
It's
on my
wobbling
end, but
around.
that's
It's up
as
and
high as
down.
I can
My
go.
levels look halfway up, but I think I've had some complaints about this headset recently.
I'll be
Yeah,
right back.
So
I cranked you up on my end as high as I can go, and you're still quiet.
Yeah, you sound like you're really far away from the microphone for some reason.
yeah, and it's like I'm almost eating the microphone. It's right in front of my mouth.
Nom 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 nom.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not,
but that mic
not
just
that
doesn't
tasty.
have enough amplification.
no, there's something wrong. There must be something wrong with it. It's a blue parrot, which all of the truckers on stream know all about.
A blue parrot.
Yeah. Blue parrots are usually pretty reliable. Maybe
Yeah.
check your StreamYard settings and see if in your audio if it's got volume automatically adjust. It may be making you more quiet than you should be because it thinks you're too loud.
I'm
Maybe.
Okay, I have to get up for a moment. I'll be right back.
All right.
Do 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 do.
Do.
I'm just thinking about getting up and moving around, and I'm coming up on a mobile stop sign, and I'm like, I don't know why video games pop into my head whenever I see school buses.
Some kind of connection you got going there?
Probably. Who the hell knows the depths of deep places of their own subconscious?
I tend to freeze up when I see these school buses, but then that's might be some PTSD.
You know, so I recently discovered a few months ago some very, very long suppressed PTSD, and it involved a school bus, and yet school buses don't evoke that. Just breathing masks. That's the thing that's linked to it.
Huh.
Yeah.
You hear Molly growling that she's got her ball. She won't let go of her ball. Well, for me to throw it. She just wants me to grab it and pull on it.
Well, it is impolite to pull on someone's balls.
Oh, is that without asking, huh? Yeah, that's her. I'm happy, excited noise. So what have you been up to, Ember?
Working and trying to produce videos while I work so much, and it's a bit of a challenge. And also continuing transition stuff where time allows. I redid my fingernails for Valentine's Day. Now the pattern on my right hand is white, pink, red, pink, white, and my boss noticed, and she was all excited, and it was fucking great.
Yeah, cool.
Mm-hmm. Now if I could get the sub-boss to pay attention. We're still working on that one.
Am I back? I think I'm back.
Still sounds
I can almost hear you, Al.
You can
I could make out your voice. Yeah.
You can tell I'm here, but you can't hear what I'm saying. All right.
If I listen closely and no one else is talking, then I can make out the words, but that's about it.
All right. Well, then I'm not going to bother you folks any longer. I'll try to keep listening. I just wanted to say hi, and I'm currently driving, so it's really hard to participate. But I always enjoy the conversation over here. So
yes.
Thought I'd say
Focusing on driving is definitely the important thing.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no, I won't be
Yes.
texting. I don't mind chatting with my voice, but I definitely don't text and drive.
Yeah, same. It's identical to a phone call when you're
Yeah, it's
as long
kind
as
of
you don't have to
hollow
look
if
over at
you,
the chat.
Yeah, on the app, like the StreamYard app, I seem to do okay most of the time.
Yeah. I wonder if it's a new Blue Parrot and you're driving, could it be the noise cancellation? Because we can't hear any driving noise, so it's doing a good job with that, but it might also be eating a good chunk of your own volume in the process.
It could be. It's actually
Just a thought.
It's my very old Blue Parrot that I've had for 2.5 years, which may be the real problem. Is that it's dead. But I will stop being a participant, and thank you all for the opportunity to say
well, and are you sure that your voice is coming through the microphone? And it could be something with your settings that it's just trying to pick it up through the mic on your phone.
That might be it.
I did double check that, but that's a good thing to check one more time.
I'm hearing Al pretty good. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, like Ember says, I can hear him if there's nothing else going on.
Yeah, it sounds like he's far away from the microphone, so
Yeah.
if it is picking up through the phone, that would explain it.
You know,
And hello to Captive Desk and Jinzu.
Hello.
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 Oh, I heard some things there I was going to comment on, but now I've lost it all. You changed topics too quick when I was gone.
We did it. Oh my goodness! I started to sign in when we were still talking about Flying Spaghetti Monster sticking to the wall, and I was going to make a joke about it. And in the few seconds it took me to log in, we were on a completely different subject by the time I got here.
Yeah, that
Well,
happens.
you can still talk about the spaghetti monster sticking to the
Yeah.
wall. That's
Yeah,
okay.
we can get back. Hey.
Yeah, and actually, I don't understand too much about the spaghetti monster, although I know it involves a lot of pirates.
God.
Yes, the pirates are the prophets of the flying spaghetti monster, and that's how you know that the religion is true, because every other religion has gone to such great lengths to rewrite history and slander pirates and make them out like these horrible law-breaking criminals, when really they were just spreading the word of his noodly goodness.
Yeah, and you have to be careful because now there's a lot of robotic pirates out there, and yeah, don't fall for the iron pyrite.
Yeah, but the real difference that we know about our Lord, the flying spaghetti monster, is that our Lord has balls, big
Big
balls.
meaty balls. Ramen.
And lots of sauce.
I've got big balls. He's got big balls. She's got big balls.
But we've got the biggest balls of them all.
How the hell that song ever got up past St. Censors is beyond me.
Well, it's like sweaty balls, People still do that bit. It's
Or
so
that
funny.
South Park episode, suck on my chocolate salty balls. Put them in your mouth and suck them.
Well, they're best that way.
And I miss chocolate.
What do you mean you miss chocolate?
I can't have chocolate. My teeth are too fucked. It hurts a lot.
Oh. Sorry.
Fluoride rinse, maybe. Or is it just
No,
beyond that?
Oh yeah, they're fucked. The last time I went to a dentist, he went, "Yeah, we need to pull all of them, just
Ooh.
all of them, fuck
Yeah,
it all."
well, that's what happened to me too. I don't know what it is, but the last couple of years I've lost my sweet tooth. I don't be craving chocolates and candies nearly as much as I used to.
Maybe that was the one that fell out.
Well, they took all of them now, but
doesn't Medicare cover dentures?
they cover dentures. But as the oral surgeon explained to me, there isn't enough bone left in my lower jaw to hold the dentures in place. So the only way I could wear them is for them to implant some titanium posts for them to snap onto, and that the medical insurance will not pay for.
Couldn't they just
$18,000 out of pocket?
Couldn't they save some money by using like aluminum pop rivets?
Well,
See, no
I
answer.
got the drills and I got the rivet gun. Maybe you have to come over here and do it for me.
Okay, you get drunk enough, I can do it.
Yeah, just think of it like an extreme piercing.
Because I don't seem to be doing very good at getting drunk.
And don't eat anything for like a day before I do it. I don't want any mess on me or my shoes.
Well, that's not a problem. I've been known to just forget to eat for 3 days.
Yeah, I did that this week. I was driving around, like, I'm really hungry. Wait, I didn't even eat today.
Yeah, that's what happens to me. Is it's like, things are winding down after midnight, and I start thinking, did I eat today? Did I eat yesterday?
My problem is forgetting to not eat today.
Well, like I say, that's Sloth Girl's job, is to make sure I don't go consecutive days without eating. Hey, Sammy.
Got myself a bag of Reese's Pieces while I was at the Dollar Tree.
Well, now, those are good food.
Yeah,
like at least 3 of the required dietary nutrition, right? Don't they?
Yeah, and they come in little mini packets. It's inside the bigger bag, so I can just tear one open and eat it.
Convenient too.
Yeah,
Perfect.
Very convenient.
Well,
you can put them in your mouth and suck them.
Condensed protein.
I don't think Mage is a sucker type. I think that's only us.
No, but I'm more for licking.
Oh, well.
I do both ways. How many licks does it take to get to an orgasm?
Depends. Well, yeah. Okay. And how would you count Slim Cyborg?
So I'm not sure. There's a non-zero chance that Slim is just in a perpetual state of orgasm.
I wasn't thinking of Slim's orgasm.
Well,
I'm
I've
just,
learned
I'm
something
just thinking,
about
I'm just
perpetual
interested in that special tongue.
I've learned a bit about perpetual states since I've been on HRT. My nipples have been hard consistently for the last 3 years. They have not gone down.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Well,
I'll have to get pads for things.
Yeah, ever
if
since
it works
I started
the same.
injecting the estrogen, that's it.
Is it because you're so excited, or because you live in Minnesota and it's always fucking cold?
Oh no, it's not always cold. In July, we usually get a week that's in the triple digits.
yeah, it's damn near 60 degrees today.
That's still kind of chilly.
Yeah, we really didn't even have winter here. All we had really only qualified as a long Minnesota autumn.
This temperature in Minnesota, people go out and sunbathe naked. Okay, it's not cold.
Yeah, in Canada it's the same. We're having a big mild spell. It's like a heat wave.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah, there have been years that I have walked across a frozen lake in just a short sleeve shirt.
Oh yeah, I drove my grandmother crazy because the farm I grew up on, we had one of those long fucking farm driveways, and I'd go out to get the mail in just shorts and barefoot and you know, whatever. She's like, "You're gonna freaking catch pneumonia and die." Sadly, it never happened.
When I lived out on a commune, I once had to call and get my car towed out of our own driveway because it was too deep.
So your grandmother was a lousy prophet, Ember.
It's true. She always predicted I'd eventually find God. And, you know, I keep looking. I've looked under all the rocks, and I've looked at the damn trees. Don't get me wrong, I love trees, but, you know, still nothing. That fucker is harder to find. I found Waldo 3 times. I have not found Jesus yet.
Oh, I went to his Rocket Fizz place. I don't know if you're this place that sells like specialty sodas, and I found Jesus there, but it was too expensive.
I think that God and Bigfoot have been playing the world's longest game of hide and seek, and neither one of them realizes that somebody's supposed to be seeking.
Did you happen to catch Mark Reed's episode on Bigfoot Jesus? That was fucking hilarious.
No, I didn't.
Definitely heard about the Bigfoot Jesus.
Tell us about it. Tell us about it.
Well, the TLDR is that there's this Looney Tunes couple that they have all the usual woo-woo, like you can, if you're trained, you can sense ghosts and spirits and shit. And the fact no one has been able to find Bigfoot, and the fact that no one's been able to find Jesus, means they're the same person.
Oh, okay.
So Bigfoot is Jesus. Yeah.
They have never been seen in the same room together.
I
No.
think
True.
the Christians should be completely embarrassed by the fact that they keep losing Jesus and expecting other people to find him. You know, it's,
No.
like,
Yeah.
it's your responsibility.
I know.
You find him, okay?
I know they kept coming up to our
Yeah,
pagan
at
groups
least
and
hire a
asking, "Have
psychic."
you found Jesus?" And we were just exasperated. I'm like, "You lost him again." I
I-
swear this is the last time we're
Hey,
looking.
no, it wasn't my turn to watch him. Come on.
No.
Actually, the
But,
funny thing was, in my 30s, I looked like Jesus.
you know, but,
So
How do you
one,
know?
one time at a pagan event,
Wait a minute. How do you know?
because people told me that.
How do they know?
There's
Because I looked like the
paintings.
pictures in the churches.
Yeah.
Okay, I forgot. the
I had that
paintings.
when I was a
Sorry.
teenager. I went over to a friend's house whose mom was like super fucking religious, and I walk in the door. Her mother puts her hand over her heart and like starts to panic, and I'm like, "What is going on?" And so my friend points to the wall that I just walked past as I came in the door, and I turn, and there's one of those pictures of Caucasian Jesus with long, dirty blonde hair, and I don't. It
Oh, the-
looked
the
exactly
Charles Manson
fucking
book?
like me,
Yeah.
like facial
that,
features. And
wasn't
I'm
that-
like, huh.
wasn't that actually based on some rich dude's son?
I have no idea.
I mean, the Caucasian painting, the Caucasian Jesus.
Yeah.
Michelangelo did that. It was his lover.
Is that I don't know if I can be heard, but I have a trucking reference to Jesus.
Go
Trucking
for it.
Jesus, you say?
Yeah, so in the song Convoy, one of the little CB parts where there's the chatter on the CB as part of the song from the movie Convoy is it's time to slip the microbus in behind the suicide jockey.
Yep.
But the line song before that is that there was a bunch of long-haired friends of Jesus in a chartreuse microbus.
Yep.
Which fit in with the time. I don't know if you'd ever be able to find a chartreuse microbus anymore, or anyone that knows what a long-haired friend of Jesus is.
Oh yeah, was a very 70s idea
Yeah.
of the hippie Jesus.
I've had both of those things in my life.
The chartreuse microbus and the
Yep.
long-haired friend of Jesus. All right.
Yep.
Have you done the daisy necklace, or not necklace? The head. What do you call that thing? It's not a halo.
A garland.
Yes, a garland.
Yes, of course I have. I was a hippie.
You're
We did
hippie,
those
all right.
things.
I did
It was
those
our
things as a
job.
pagan. We didn't have Jesus involved.
The government paid us for that. Well, they called it unemployment, but we called it our job. You know, it's,
Being on bogey.
So you
Bogey
were
doesn't mean
government
anything
chills.
in your country.
yeah. We work for the government. I work for the government now. Every month they send me a check. Electronically, of course, but yeah.
I thought the government was sending me a check not to work anymore.
Well,
I figured they just got tired of fixing my mistakes.
you haven't hit 65 yet. After a while, they said you don't have to work anymore.
Well, no, but they figure I'm screwed up enough that I don't have to work more than half time. So I'm only a part-time shell.
In my case, they just knew that they'd never get anything productive out of me, so they just gave up. Actually, my official job was that I was supposed to remain unemployed for all of time and advertise that to anybody who's a conservative or a MAGA nowadays.
I would just point out that I'm not sure what that job would be called.
So did you say it was just to piss them off? The
Professional
MAGA crowd?
antagonist?
Professional antagonist? Yeah, I'm sure there's a few people. in there.
Agent provocateur.
Yeah. But what do you guys call being on Pogey down there?
Hoagies? What's that?
Well, Pogey, that's what we call being on employment insurance or unemployment insurance. depending
Oh,
on where
bum.
you're at.
We use the word
We
bum.
call that being on the Pogey.
They used to say being on the dole, but then Bob Dole ran for office, and
Yeah.
it was weird.
You also get called fucking liberal for that. And fucking welfare queen. And fucking another word, but I don't want to say that because we'll all get arrested.
Welfare queen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a Reagan thing.
Very royal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a big thing they were promoting in the 80s, was that supposedly these people were getting rich off of welfare.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it fits in with the royal family, right? I mean, they do fuck.
Well, that's true.
You know, and they get a public first check. So, you know, I understand that. I understand the reference to the queen. And here, Dole is a brand of fruit, usually like a canned fruit.
Yep.
Don't call
do
Bob Dole a
bananas here,
fruit.
too.
Don't you dare call Bob Dole a fruit.
I don't know. He might be a fruit. I don't think he ever said.
He's dead now. You know.
Sorry, who Bob Dole is?
You can be dead and fruity. When I'm
Well,
dead, I will still be fruity as fuck.
No, you'll be a necrophiliac is what you'll be.
The reason we know Dole is a fruit company is Dole is the corporation that annexed Hawaii.
Is that a real thing?
Yep.
We don't know about all this stuff up here. We just
Okay,
when
so
tropical things show up.
yeah, Hawaii. This story is fucking wild. First of all, they still had slavery until 1900. So this slavery was over in 1865 thing is fucking bullshit. But it was an independent kingdom. And then the fruit companies came in. I didn't know it was Dole. I just knew it was fruit companies. That's how it was posed in my history class. They started like building cane plantations and other shit like that. And because in the kingdom of Hawaii, like with many First Nations people, the idea of ownership of land just did not compute. It didn't make any sense. But the corporate people wanted to own all the land. Once there were a bunch of them, then they petitioned the United States government to annex Hawaii as a territory. So basically, they bought the island without the consent of the people who lived there.
Yep.
Oh,
Because
well,
they had
that's
no
they did in
mechanism
North
to
America.
sell it. Like there were no deeds that they could own because they didn't exist in their society previously.
Right.
So they couldn't profit from they couldn't even profit from the land sale in the first place. These stories are really off-putting, and I believe I remember I don't think it's the same thing, but I remember a similar story about some political shenanigans in, I want to say it was Venezuela. I was definitely somewhere in South America where they did some corporate interests took over political interests at some point in the last century.
Oh, that happened a lot. The term banana republic is when the U.S. would come in, corporate U.S. agents would come in and basically take over the government of smaller countries, set up their own favorite dictator who will let them do whatever the fuck they want. And the U.S. government would back them if there was any military trouble.
Wow.
Now much of the tropical fruit production is down in South America, and like Peru and Bolivia, those kinds of places. They get lots and lots of pineapple out of.
I've always had the idea that pineapple would probably be a pretty good crop in poorer soil areas.
Oh, then they could use the entire Texas.
It'd make Texas smell better.
Nothing can make Texas smell better.
What does Texas smell like?
Texas smells like dead cows, cow excrement, and regret.
Well,
Central and Eastern Texas is oil refineries.
Yeah, there were simple instructions for how you find Texas. Is you walk west until you smell shit and south until you step in it.
Okay.
I would like you all to consider joining the Texas secession movement with me. We are believers that Texas should secede. I'm the secondary secession party because we have one further belief that it should be not only secede from America, but it should be given back to Mexico.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
this is from without. There's no Texans in the chat.
I don't care what any Texan from anywhere says.
Would Mexico
please leave
until Texas has actual human beings in the government who believe in human rights and care about each other. Texas is just is fucking hell as far as I'm concerned, and does not consider any positive consideration in my life whatsoever.
Would Mexico even want Texas back at this point in the state it's in?
Well, I was figuring, that if we get them to redraw the Mexican border where it was sometime about, circa 1850, that in that case, Mexico might take it back, because in the process, then they would also get the San Diego Naval Yard, which is probably the biggest U.S. naval base.
Well, see, now we can't go interfere with other states. If Texas wants to secede, fine, Texas can do that, but we can't force other states to do that.
Yeah,
they haven't been as problematic anyway. Well,
Mexico
there is
has
the Gadsden Purchase, yes, but that was a purchase.
See, Mexico has a population of 126 million, and Texas has one of 29 million right now.
Is it really?
Somewhere around there.
Yeah, and
We're letting
so
29
I'd be
million
worried
people?
about the rest of Mexico going Texas.
Yeah. Well,
See, and that wouldn't be good. It just wouldn't be a good thing.
well,
Texas
Mexico
would never
pretty
want to
much is already ruled by who has the most guns. Sorry, Jenny.
I'll bet you Texas is, the private citizenry of Texas is at least as well armed as Mexico in its entirety.
It's possible. I have a question for specifically for Ember if she has an answer, but also anyone else clued in. There's been a bunch of chatter about some sort of trucker convoy to the Texas-Mexico border to reclaim it from, I don't know who, I guess the Border Patrol agents that aren't doing their job or something. Is that a thing?
It's sort of. We've been having a number of convoys for stupid reasons. This particular thing, though, it's they're calling themselves God's Army, and it's not just truckers.
Jesus.
It's like all kinds of fucking people. They're coming from. They're meeting up in 3 different states, and they plan to meet along. Shoot, where the hell was it? It was along the Rio Grande. I think 30 miles west of Laredo, but I may be wrong about which city. But yeah, basically they're going to go guard a section of the Rio Grande that the Border Patrol isn't currently guarding because no one crosses there.
That's the nice way to put it. Their spoken intent was to go and battle the illegal immigrants to keep them out of our fine country. And when they got there, they're already there. When they got there, they found out, where there isn't any battle going on. What have the people been telling us? Why are we here?
Well, it's a good thing for them because they had been boasting that there were going to be 700,000 people in this group, and at the last count, they had less than 4 dozen vehicles.
Wow.
Yeah, they're led by an alleged Green Beret, and I say alleged because nobody's been able to find this dude's military record. He just says he was a Green Beret, but whatever. And he's like, yeah, this is the same sort of shit that we did to knock down ISIS. Because, immigrants coming across and claiming asylum is exactly the same as ISIS. And he's like, we're not terrorists. We're not militia. We're an internal defense force. Fucking get out of here. We should push them in the river.
And they've been so bored realizing
and protect our border from anyone that's trying to defect.
Yeah, give Jenny a chance.
No, don't give Jenny a chance. What the fuck?
Sorry,
I'll just leave.
Give Jenny free Jenny.
Really? I thought I had to pay for her.
That was private.
Well, I think it actually, yeah. I think paying for it would be awesome. But we're all broke as hell. I don't know what we're gonna do.
You're right.
It was just payment in corn dogs. It's no big deal.
Okay.
I got peanuts earlier today.
I found some wild corn
anything
dogs growing in the pond, but no matter how much mustard I put on them, they still taste terrible.
Well, you're supposed to boil them first.
You don't boil corn dogs; they're deep fried.
Well, whatever.
If you boil them, the breading would get all soggy.
I think the hot dog makes you think you gotta boil it maybe, but yeah, I think the corn dog.
No,
the boiling doesn't make sense.
No, never boil hot dogs. That's the most horrible fucking thing you can ever do. Speaking as a person who had to live on boiled hot dogs 4 nights a week for fucking years as a child.
My grandmother tried to boil hamburger.
That's an interesting approach.
Yeah, have you seen? Hot dogs used to be the cheap food, that we were giving the kids because we couldn't afford any meat. Have you seen what's happened to the price of hot dogs?
Oh,
Depends on the hot dogs. You can still get the shitty ass cheap ones for like $1 for a package.
No,
The
I
bar
haven't,
S hot dogs or whatever.
I haven't seen anything under $7.
Well,
Well,
he's
you
right
must be
about
getting
like
the
the
fancy
Bar S
German
hot
shit.
dogs, but the Bar S hot dogs are a step down. I think we'd be better off feeding the kids dog food.
It's true. And cheer they, please, purple. Okay. I am home.
Actually, I had a cat, Tasha,
Yay.
that
Maybe.
did not
Maybe not.
like processed meats. And I started taking cues from her. That's like, yeah, if the cat does not identify this as meat, I probably should not be eating it.
yeah. There are a lot of fillers in a lot of them. But the price of all food around here has gone in a very northward direction, and
I better
for some reason,
Could we
remuneration
kind of stop the
for-
background noise?
You had the background noise anyway.
I think that Ember needed to mute while he was getting home and unpacking stuff.
Eh.
I think he was opening his potato chip bag.
I don't know what she was doing.
I'm sorry.
Possibly.
There you go. First slip.
Who knows?
Sorry.
It happens. Yeah, the very
I
best
know.
hot dogs are you get decent hot dogs and roasted over an open fire.
I love a barbecue.
Just like chestnuts.
Never had a chestnut.
Yeah, hot dogs were great camping food for that.
Chestnuts is a trans woman thing early in their transition, but then they become.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
You just killed me, Jenny. You just killed me.
Laughing and
Sorry.
coughing at the same time is not recommended.
I've done that.
Oh,
Or,
God.
of course, because I've laughed. My mom made this meat one time, and she like burned it or something. And I wouldn't eat it, so she gave it to the dog. Dog sniffed it and walked away.
Yeah. Yeah, I had used that as a cue too. Anything I cooked that the dog didn't want to try to eat, I figured was better off we just tossed it.
And there was those fish sticks, which we ended up using as bumps to run over with our bikes.
Yeah. Of course, now we've got a better plan for that. Is that if the cats or dogs won't eat it, we can give it to Sloth Girl's son. He just inhales everything so fast, I don't think he tastes anything. I've had to stop calling him Extra Man because now he's the last man standing. Kitty. Like,
I watched Legend last night.
I watched that years ago, yeah.
Yeah, the one starring Tom Cruise with Tim Curry as the devil. I haven't seen that in a long time. Makeup
The
The makeup in that thing still holds up. You familiar with that movie?
I'm not.
Oh, definitely check. Yeah, definitely check it out.
Yeah, I don't remember it well. Like I said, it's been quite a few years since I saw it. I just don't watch much TV or movies anymore. I guess I let YouTube take up too much of my time now. Also, this idea of of being in a community and actually, trying to socialize with people on a regular basis. I find that takes a lot of time. You know, having friends takes a lot of time. I was not aware of this until recently.
There's a little movie poster for it. Got Tom
Yeah.
Cruise and the devil. There's Tim Curry.
Yeah, that makeup job was just, it's so iconic. You see it on so many things. What it must have been to act like in those massive horns, though, you know? Like, I wonder, like, how many times he hit the boom mic with those.
It'd be easier to be Ron Perlman in Hellboy, where they're kind of sawed off a little bit.
And something I just recently found out while I was watching it was anyone familiar with Robert Picardo?
What is the nature of your medical
I take
emergency?
it he's not related to Jean-Luc.
Okay, okay, you do know him. Well, that's him.
I recognize that, but I can't remember.
That's the bog hag Meg from Legend.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm trying to put a voice
Oh,
with it. I can't quite connect it.
That is one hell of a medical emergency right there. Jesus Christ. He played the medical hologram on Star Trek.
Oh,
Voyager.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that was the only character in that show that I really liked. I never got into Voyager.
He had an interesting arc.
Janeway was awesome.
Yeah, Janeway was good. Her quest for
I
coffee.
I didn't get into it very much either.
Well, you know,
all of the series, it was probably one I thought was the weakest, but aside from that.
Well, and they left out the epic narration that they needed, you know? That's, you know, these are the voyages of the starship Voyager. Our ongoing mission. We just want to go home.
Yeah. I liked the one episode that sticks with me was the human evolution episode where Janeway and this other person turned into evolved to the final form, and they wound up looking like crocodiles in a swamp, and they were fucking all the time. It was really kind of cool.
That one, I actually have a sort of a fan theory that one was actually Tom Paris's dream or nightmare that he had. And I actually have there's actually a few points in that I kind of I can use to support that. For instance, how off Neelix's his behavior was in that episode would have fit right in with Tom Paris's perception of him at the time, name of the story.
I never saw that one.
It was considered one of the worst episodes of the series.
I know, but it was funny as fuck. It was really just what?
It was also
okay.
Jenny, let Jenny go.
Time for a break. We're not going to talk about Star Trek anymore because we always end up talking about Star Trek and canon bullshit. It's time for memes of the day. Mage, I sent you 4 memes that we can share with the audience.
Okay, I'm going to have to be skipping out of here shortly, people, because I've got to head off to a 4:00 appointment. So it's up to Mage at this point, you know, if he wants to keep things going or if we should wrap up here.
You guys want to keep going, or seems like a kind of a dull day? I can just do these memes and then we can wrap it up. How's that sound?
Okay. Yep, let's see the memes.
Let me get them pulled up here.
Memes! Also, be nice.
Yeah.
This is a new feature I'm trying to introduce into the show.
I like it.
I have a few memes each week for us to hopefully giggle at.
Oh yeah. Now I'm all
yes.
situated.
The infamous
thank you, Jenny, for that correction.
The infamous chicken boy.
Like it?
Can we zoom in any?
It's kind of full screen.
Yeah, it's just because it's in the vertical video.
May I ask where this chicken boy is
I believe it's California, but
All right.
it's somewhere on with Route 66 or other.
Good. That's pretty good.
Chicken.
always
Why
wonder-
would somebody come up with Chicken Boy? It's
Yeah.
just weird.
Because
I don't
Chicken
know,
Man
but
was
I'm-
already copyrighted.
I'm feeling a bit peckish looking at it.
Is this some roadside statue type scenario, or
Yeah,
It looks
yeah.
like he's standing on top of a restaurant.
It looks like it's about
Ah,
30
okay.
feet tall.
Hmm.
Yeah.
those are very popular up here. We have like a lot of towns. Their whole thing is whatever giant thing they have. We have a fishing snowman that's 3 stories tall, and I forget which town, Beardmore or Geraldton. I can't remember which.
Oh yeah, up in this area of Minnesota and Wisconsin, Paul Bunyan and Babe the Big Blue Ox are popular. Giant fish are popular, and giant cows.
A few about 2.5 miles away from me is the Freeport Big Indian. It's at the site of the old, what used to be called the Casco Bay Trading Post, and throughout New England there are a number of really kind of grim and racist statues of big Indians. Or used to be anyway. When I was a kid, they were all over the place. But there's one about 2 miles away, 2.5 miles away from me right now, and it's referred to either as the FBI, Freeport Big Indian, or the BFI, Big Fucking Indian. So yeah, I get to see it rather frequently.
There was
Nice.
a big Indian in the main city park downtown. That some local guy made, and it was just absolutely horrible. It looked like
terrible.
more primitive than primitive art, and they finally tore it down a couple of years ago.
In Wisconsin, there used to be a motel that actually was a series of stucco teepees.
Oh yeah, that definitely existed. That's gone too now.
Yeah.
This Chicken Boy is actually an art installation affiliated with an art gallery in Los Angeles. It's located on North Figueroa Street in Highland Park in LA. It's a 22-foot tall fiberglass statue that was recognized by Governor Schwarzenegger with the Governor's Historic Preservation Award in 2010.
Oh, but it did come from an actual fried chicken place called Chicken Boy.
And when he announced it, when he announced the dedication, he said he'll be back.
Oh God!
The review is there's a smiley face person who left 1 star and says place does not serve any food.
All right. Well,
Okay,
see
let's
you
move
next.
to the next
Okay.
meme. Oh, this one I found it was just a bunch of fun.
Republic
Okay.
Nazi Party.
Mhm. The big tent party. We love everyone.
Yeah, with Christian love.
Take it how you want.
Now, I didn't think they would get into llamas because aren't they invading from South America?
Well, yeah, but is a good, next.
Maybe they're alpacas.
Well, at least they're soft and furry then.
Mhm.
Well, I wonder what kind of cow that is. I don't know that. Oh,
Oh, Sloth Girl could tell you. I can't remember the name of the breed. It's a Scottish lowland.
oh, okay. And this just made me giggle when I saw it, so we'll just move on from there.
The man who has sex once every 7 years.
Is anybody ever going to tell poor Ben about lube?
No.
Well-
No, why would we do that?
That's true.
I just wonder, for the stuff he believes about sex, is his wife purposely keeping him in the dark?
His sister sure is.
Sister, wife, same difference, huh?
and this is another one. It just made me giggle when I saw it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's it. That's our first installment of memes of the week. We'll see what we can come up with for next week.
Excellent, Jenny. Yeah, this be a good regular segment.
You have to get
There's a
to do,
book
like,
about Chicken Boy.
a whole book about chicken.
Okay, well, people, I have to run. So,
Alright, well, we can do a wrap up here.
We're almost an
yeah,
hour
you'll
late
have
if
to
you're
take
on
care of that
Eastern
because
time,
I got to get
Oh,
going
alright.
right away. So,
Well,
bye-bye, all.
Goodbye.
Toodle.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Well, so yes, we'll start with Ember. What do you got to show?
Oh, but usual stuff. Debate reviews on Saturday. I think this week is Mark's channel. Sunday show on Sunday, leading into Bad Science Sunday over on Maya's. That's always on my channel, of course. Random live stream that may happen at any moment now, possibly, and regular videos on Saturday mornings. Always stuff coming up.
Saturday morning cartoons?
I should do that.
I make my own. I make my own.
That would do
Saturday
much
morning
better than
cartoons.
my stupid review videos.
It takes so much
Who needs
effort
counter
to do the animation.
apologetics?
Get some of the original black and white Popeyes and stuff. You know, the early ones where olive oil was really hot.
Alright, Al, what do you got?
I haven't done anything much. But I might. I don't know if I can stream from my phone. I might do a stream later tonight. You never know.
All right.
Yeah, streaming from phones is cool. The buttons are different, but it's fucking cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to give that a shot again because the last time I tried to do it while moving and it didn't work at all. And then the other thing is I've done my most recent song installment went up over a week ago, but there's a second song that I'm working on and I'm looking for commentary and direction from smart people on the second song. So yeah, if you haven't listened, put on some hearing protection and go check it out.
Yeah, that's the kind of song. Right? Jenny, how about you?
Let's see, don't we do something Sunday? Oh yeah, we're on Beck's show, What the Beck on Sunday. It's usually about 5 o'clock Central Time, and that's all I know about it. Its topic changes all the time, moment to moment.
It's anything but religion usually.
Yeah,
I thought Beck was usually like 420 on his time. Anyway.
He changed it.
Yeah,
he does move it around a lot.
All right.
I think this is going to be a fairly long term at this time. 6 o'clock
Probably.
Eastern.
All right, Stephanie, how about
and
you?
then
Oh,
and then every night or so, maybe every other, I'm out on TikTok battling flat earthers and LGBT haters. Hey, hi.
Hell yeah.
How you doing, Bree?
Bree.
Hey, Bree.
Starting to wrap up here. Stephanie, how about you?
Well, I don't have anything. I don't have anything solid planned at the moment. I don't think, but I might be forgetful. I did a mirror, posted a mirror of the talk that Jay Bundy and Maya Adkisson and I did for Skeptic Haven's Women Atheists Unload last Sunday. I posted that yesterday on my channel, and also a very short little piece with reflections on time, with a little bit of my own doggerel poetry read. But yeah, check that out, and I'll probably be doing some other stuff. Trying to stay a little bit mellow and also get some of these effing sales sewn up before people start banging on my door.
I think I saw a video you posted recently. It had some pretty nice makeup going there.
Yeah, I clean up well from time to time.
All right. Well, I'm still working forever on this next video for my gardening channel. And I'll probably be over on and back, and that's pretty much what I got going. So, yeah, I guess that's it.
Well, cool.
Yee.
Well, I don't know if I'm punching them, but
Punching
Tapping
Nazis.
them?
all right. Well, see everybody later.
Bye.
Well, bye.
Don't get caught.